Shabbat Shalom, family. Glory and honor to the Father Yahweh, the creator of heaven and earth, our creator, the creator of Israel, our God, our most high, and the one who causes us to live, the one who causes us to obtain righteousness, the one who set the whole plan in motion to deliver us from sin. Glory and honor to the Father Yahweh. Glory and honor to Messiah, the only begotten Son of the Father, Yahweh Shai, the great high priest, the one who is the atonement for our sin, the one who sits at the Father's right hand as our righteousness, who is soon to return and take his rightful place as king of the planet Earth. Glory and honor to Father Yahweh. Glory and honor to Messiah, Yahweh Shai, to whom all glory and honor is due. Greetings to the 12 tribes, the awakening 12 tribes, the children of the man that were once called Jacob, who's now is Yashar'ah. Greetings to the 144,000 among them who are the forerunners of the return of Messiah and the establishment of the Messianic kingdom. Greetings to the precious souls among the Gentiles who the Father loves and who he has sent Messiah also to gather in among his people. Greetings to the chat, Akawan Banya, Brother Lonnie, Sister Joy, Superstar, and his wife, Brother Mark, Baldy Thorpe, Brother Gary Joseph, Yakoba, my man, fellow Floridian. Only One Way, Sister Love Blue, Sister 119, Psalm 119, Sister Wade, Sister Glasgow, Brother Stephen Kelly. Praise the Most High. So, today, we're getting into chapter 20 of the book of Revelation, the judgment in chapter 20. This is the thing, brethren. This is the thing. The Bible says, as I put in the description box, it is appointed unto man once to die. Then after this, the judgment. This is the thing. With respect to Yah's chosen ones and the judgment. With respect to Yah's chosen ones in the judgment, let's look at Daniel. Let's look at Daniel. Daniel, let's see. Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7. I'm going to begin in Daniel chapter 7. After Daniel seen this part, the first part of the vision with the four beasts, and then he saw a judgment scene, if you recall, in Daniel chapter 7, and he was grieved, and he came near unto one of the angels and asked him to explain what he just saw, right? And this is the thing again, brothers and sisters, that we must remember. Please remember, it is always a temptation, because we see it all the time, for people to guess what they think the Bible is saying about a certain thing and to promote their favored guess. But it's not necessary to guess. The way we learn is when we admit we don't know. How do you learn something if you already know it? Does that make sense, y'all? So if you don't know, there's an opportunity to learn. And how can we learn? Well, we can ask the author of what we're trying to learn. The Father of lights is the author of all we're trying to learn. And the Messiah is the author and finisher of our faith, the faith of Messiah, which is the Father's righteousness. So it's okay to say, I don't know, Father. Show me what I don't know, because in that way you can learn. Now, let's take it a step further. If the Father teaches you something and you learn it so that you have received knowledge from the Father, you understand with that you are blessed because you've received knowledge from the Father. Not only that, the knowledge that the Father gives you will elevate you so that you will glorify him. Y'all catching that? So that's the thing. So you want to learn from your daddy so that you can glorify your daddy. Amen. Praise the Most High. So don't ever guess. Okay? Because people do it all the time. It drives me crazy. Don't guess. Stop guessing and stop promoting your guesses. Get the truth from the Father and give him glory. Praise the Most High. That's how we doing this. See, that's how we flowing in this. Now, Daniel chapter 7. Watch this. Daniel chapter 7. I'm going to begin at verse 15. I'm going to begin at verse 15 of Daniel chapter 7. And I'm going to go from verse 15 down to verse 22. Daniel chapter 7. From verse 15 to verse 22. Okay, you ready? Daniel 7 from 15 to 22. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit and in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by. When he says stuff like this, what's going on is, again, we know the Father is giving a message to the Messiah. The Messiah is sending that message by an angel to the servant. In this case, Daniel's the servant. So when he receives a message, there's an angel telling him, sometimes more than one. Okay. So he said, I came near to one of them that stood by. I had to ask the angel. And I asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me to know the interpretation of the things. See, Daniel said, I don't know. Can you help me? And the angel said, sure. Let me give you the truth. Okay. These great beasts, which are four kings that which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the, by the way, he said they shall arise out of the earth. You remember, the two witnesses were attacked by a beast that arose out of the bottomless pit. The earth and its present state is representing the bottomless pit. Why is that? Pit is the grave. Bottomless means it never is full. And the Bible does tell us there's several things that are never satisfied. One of them is the grave. When there's no more death, there will be no more bottomless pit. Does that make sense, y'all? When there's no more death, there's no more bottomless pit. But there is death now, and there is a bottomless pit. And so these are arising out of the bottomless pit, which is the earth. Y'all catching that? So they're rising out of the earth, they're rising out of the bottomless pit. And we know from the book of Revelation, they attacked the two witnesses. Okay, so the earth has death. As long as it has death, it is the bottomless pit. When death falls into the lake of fire, which we're going to read by the grace of the Father, y'all, today, there's no more bottomless pit because there's no more death. Earth will be nothing but life, and that in abundance. Praise the Most High. Okay, so here, these great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Love that. Ain't nobody coming after us, y'all. We the last ones. Praise the Most High. Then I would know the truth of all this, which was of the fourth, then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. Again, let's just stop for a minute. I like to compare scripture with scripture so that we understand how they connect. The same horn made war with the saints. Now we read in Revelation chapter 12, verse 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make what? War with the remnant of her seed. That's the saints. And so when this horn is making war with us, he's representing the dragon. Do we understand that? Everybody got that? So the little horn is the power of the dragon. And we saw this also, Revelation 13, it said, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. So when they are attacking us, the dragon sees the man-child in us. And that's why it's a demonic spirit from those children of Yefet that hate us. It's a demonic spirit. See, they want to call it, they want to label it and kind of contain it in this term called racism. Oh, it's bigger than that. If you are awakened, you understand it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. Way bigger. Our Satan knows who we are. And he wants to destroy us from off the earth. And he is using his world power to try to do that. Because he knows who we are. We are the threat to his existence. We are the chosen people of the Father Yahweh. And he knows in his heart he can't do nothing about that, that we represent his death sentence. That's what we represent, his death sentence. So when people are coming against us, it ain't racism. Racism is small, man. This is bigger than that, way bigger, way deeper, eternal. You heard what the Bible says. It says the saints shall possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. You don't think Satan wants that? Of course he does. But he ain't going to get it. See? So you have to understand, when somebody hates you because you dark skinned, they hate you because you look like the man-child. See? They hate you because you look like the man-child. They hate you because Satan hates you. So you're really dealing with the Satan when you deal with a racist. You understand? But this power of the spirit of righteousness is more powerful than his racism. Way more. Not even close. Okay? Praise the Most High. See, it does bother me a little bit, I have to admit, calling it racism. Because when you call it racism, you're giving credence to the people that created the paradigm of race. The Europeans created the paradigm of race. It's them that called you a Negroid. It's them that call certain people Asiatic, Caucasoid, Mongoloid. That's them that did that. And they decided that the Caucasoid were the superior ones, and they called themselves white. That's how it all started. So I wouldn't give credence to a term racism that they created. They just heathens. And we represent the man-child. Praise the Most High. Verse 22 now. Watch this. Until, let me read verse 21 again. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came. And judgment, watch this, judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. This is the key thing here. It is given unto man once to die. And after this, the judgment. Now look here. The high priestly ministry of the Messiah is our judgment. Not to be scared of, but to be looking forward to. Why? Because we're looking for that eternal covering of perfection of righteousness. The Day of Atonement is the cleansing of the children of Israel. The only ones that were not cleansed are those who would not be afflicted. In other words, those who are unrepentant. The unrepentant ones, the Bible describes unrepentance as ungodliness. The godly ones are the repentant ones, according to Psalm 32. The godly ones are the repentant ones. And so, of the children of Israel, those are us that recognize who our high priest is and recognize that we need the mercy and grace of the Father that comes through the Messiah to fill us with perfect righteousness. Judgment is given to us. It's not something to be scared of. It's something we accept, we embrace, we want, we seek. You understand? We seek it because that's in our favor. Now, for the unrepentant, their judgment is what we're getting ready to read about. Now, we're dealing with the second resurrection. Okay, and as normal, we will have in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, at least 4 actually, The second resurrection. And I will admit, I am still in all of my readings of the Bible trying to decipher. And I look at each case and I try to decipher, is this first resurrection or second resurrection? And some things I'm not really clear on, but there, or at least four, they're very clear on, including the one of Revelation 20 itself, because that's going to be our fourth witness. But we got three others. Okay, we got three others that we got to look at. Okay, here we are in Daniel. So let's look at this. So we're dealing with two resurrections. Isn't that right? The first resurrection and the second resurrection. The first resurrection is when we talked about last night in Revelation chapter 19. Here we're going to go into the second one that come after the 1,000 years, right? So let's take a look first. Daniel, since we're in Daniel already, Daniel chapter 12, and this all begins with the 144,000 receiving the great power from heaven, as mentioned in Revelation chapter 18, if you recall. I saw an angel come down from heaven having great power. That power represents this latter rain power that we're about to receive from the Father, so that we will be witnesses unto him and have a call for his chosen ones to come out of the religions of Babylon, the man-made religions of Babylon. So here in Daniel, we're going to start at verse 11, because that's where it starts. Verse 11, which is Daniel chapter 11, verse 44. That's the message of Revelation 18 in one verse. Yeah. Daniel chapter 11, 44 is the message of Revelation 18 and the message of Revelation 14 in one verse. The Bible does stuff like that. It does. So watch this. This is Daniel chapter 11, beginning at verse 44. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him, trouble the beast. Therefore, he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and to utterly make away many. That is several things in just this one verse. It is the message of Revelation 18. The great power that's troubling. It's going to trouble our enemies. Does that make sense to y'all? So the message is going to trouble our enemies, and they're going to want to silence us. That's also Revelation chapter 14, the threefold message of the 144,000. It is also the message of Revelation chapter 11, the two witnesses that caused the beast that rise up out of the pit to kill them. All of that is in this one verse. Isn't that something else, man? The Bible is beautiful. It's powerful. There's nothing like it. The Bible says it's like a hammer. It's like a two-edged sword. It goes deep. It's very powerful. Here we got all three of them in one verse. Verse 44. Let me read it again. And tidings out of the east and out of the north. Why does it use those two directions? Because Messiah said he shall return out of the east. And we know that the Father's throne sits in the sides of the north, right? The Father's throne sits in the sides of the north. And Messiah said, as the sun rises in the east, so shall the return of the Son of Man be. So we see out of the east and out of the north representing the message from the Father and the Messiah. From the 144,000. Praise the Most High. Okay? Shall trouble him, who? The king of the north in Daniel 11, which is the beast of Revelation 13, which is the whore of Revelation chapter 17. Same thing. Trouble him. And of course, we understand the power of the message of the Spirit of the Father will trouble those that are unrepentant. They will be angry at the message and want to what? Kill the messengers. Okay, verse 45. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas in the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Which again goes back to Revelation 17. These shall hate the whore and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. See, so she's going to get her power. They're going to be together for a very short time. And then it's all going to collapse. This is the thing, brother. The Bible tells us that a lying tongue is but for a moment. It said, the lip of truth shall be established forever. But the lying tongue is but for a moment. So what does that tell us? It tells us that all unrighteousness is temporary. See, the Father is going to destroy this whole situation. But if he didn't, it would destroy itself because it's temporary. Can't help it. Whatever is unrighteous and sin is going to destroy itself because it's temporary. Whatever is perfect in righteousness and truth is forever. Why? The Father said it. Lip of truth is established forever. His righteousness is forever. He says it. My righteousness forever shall not be abolished. So what's truth and righteous is eternal. What's a lie is temporary. Unrighteousness is a lie. See? So he said, he shall come to his end. None shall help him. Okay, chapter 12, verse 1. Watch this. And at that time, that is at the time he's troubled by our message, at the time he sets up his tabernacle in Jerusalem, at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. At that time, thy people shall be delivered, sea of glass. Everyone that shall be found written in the book. Now, verse 2 is what we're talking about today. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, first resurrection, and some to shame and everlasting contempt, second resurrection. So there's two resurrections, one for everlasting life. That's the one we read about in Revelation 19 yesterday. All of those saints that's in that, that's the resurrection of the righteous. What we get ready to look at today is the resurrection as, let's take a look. Let's let Messiah teach us out of John. Let's let Messiah teach us. Yahweh Shai, let's let him teach us. This is Gospel of John. Gospel of John. Gospel of John. I'm going to begin in chapter 5. Yes, Gospel of John, chapter 5. I'm going to begin at verse 19. Well, let me begin at verse 22. This is Gospel of John, chapter 5. I'm going to begin at verse 22. And I'm going to go down to verse, let me see. I'm going to go down to verse 30. So Gospel of John, chapter 5, from verse 22 to verse 30. Okay? Gospel of John, chapter 5, from verse 22 to verse 30. Here we go. For the Father judges no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son, that all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father. He that honoreth not the Son, honoreth not the Father which hath sent him. Again, that goes with what Moses taught us. He going to send a prophet, and all the words of the Father, you need to listen to that prophet, because whoever will not listen to that prophet is going to be in trouble, right? That's Deuteronomy chapter 18, I believe. So here, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. Verily, verily, I say unto you, watch this, the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of Yahweh, and they that hear shall live. For as the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself, and hath given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in which all that are in the graves shall hear his voice, and shall come forth. They that have done good unto the resurrection of life. That's the first one. They that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. That's the second one. I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge. And my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of the Father, which hath sent me. See? So Messiah is committed to him judgment. The judgment is not arbitrary. The judgment is based on the two witnesses. Does that make sense, y'all? So the judgment is based on the person lining up or being measured against the two witnesses, as we saw in Revelation chapter 11. So the two witnesses are the standard by which all human beings will be judged. If you line up and your character is in line with the two witnesses, you good, because that means you are written in the book of life. If you line up and your character is not in line with the two witnesses, you are not written in the book of life. Therefore, you are risen for eternal damnation. So far, we got two witnesses to this, if you see, Daniel and John. Now, let's go to the big witness on this one. Yeah, there's a big witness on this one. I mean, detailed witness. It's our brother. It's our brother Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Levi. And his name is Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 38. If you recall last night, we looked at Ezekiel chapter 39 last night, which was what we're looking at in conjunction to Revelation chapter 19. Well, today, in conjunction with Revelation chapter 20, we take a look at Ezekiel chapter 38. Ezekiel chapter 38. Now, this is very interesting. 36 talks about how the Father gathers us from among the heathen, right? And sprinkles us clean, makes us clean with clean water, and puts his spirit in us and causes us to obey his commandments, right? That's chapter 36. I will put my spirit in you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgment and do them. I'm going to take this stony heart out of your flesh, and I'm going to give you a heart of flesh. That represents those of us that are alive when the Messiah returns. Does that make sense, y'all? See? That represents those of us that are alive when the Messiah returns. Everybody got that so far? That's chapter 36, Ezekiel 36. See? Everybody got that? Okay. 37 represents a resurrection of the saints. Can these bones live? Right? Prophecy to the wind, Ezekiel, prophecy to the wind. And the bones come up. And he said, these bones are the whole house of Israel. And that's where he starts to say, David's going to rule over you. That's what he starts to say. I'm going to bring Ephraim and Judah together as one stick. They're not going to be two nations anymore. They're not going to be no northern and southern kingdom. It's going to be one kingdom. And he says in Ezekiel 37, he said, now, so you got those of us that are alive that he's gathering from the four corners of the earth. That's chapter 36. Chapter 37 is the resurrection of the righteous. These bones are the whole house of Israel. Now, chapter 38 is the final judgment on the wicked. Chapter 39 is the judgment of those that are alive in the first resurrection. The wicked that are on the earth, which we can see right now. You're going to see a lot of these characters not on TV. No, the real revolution, Gil Scott-Heron is right. It ain't televised. And you're going to see a lot of these characters stand before the Father and before the Messiah with the two witnesses in the book of life. And they're going to be found wanting. You're going to be seeing these characters try to gather armies to fight against us. And they have no shot, like zero. It's like a shot of a match against the ocean. Can a match stay lit in the ocean? Can a candle stay lit in the ocean? No. So that's the shot they got. That's coming very soon, the next couple of years. Then we're going to be 1,000 years on the planet, rebuilding. We're going to talk about that. Rebuilding, reestablishing, cleaning it. And then of course nature is going to kick in because there's going to be no unrighteousness on the earth. It's going to be filled with the knowledge of Yahweh. And for 1,000 years we get blessed, right? Then final judgment will come on these fools. That's chapter 38 of Ezekiel. Y'all ready? We saw in chapter 39, there's certain things that give me the idea of what I say to you with respect to which one is first resurrection, which one is second. For example, yesterday we saw that 1/6 of Gog and Magog will be delivered. You're not going to see that in chapter 38. You saw it in chapter 39. Remember, he said, I'm going to leave 1/6 of you. Second resurrection, ain't nobody left, man. Not of them. Only those that come in the first resurrection. Okay? Praise the Most High. So now you won't see that. And then you're going to see the term visited. That in other words, they're going to be coming back. You're going to see certain signs that tell you it's the end of the 1,000 years and it's their second resurrection. Here in chapter 38. Okay, so let's begin. This is Ezekiel chapter 38. Going to begin at verse 1. Ezekiel chapter 38. I'm going to begin at verse 1 and read from verse 1 down to verse 6 to start us off. Actually, 1 to 7. Okay. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Most High Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, and all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, and the house of Togarmah, the north quarters, all their bands, many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. Be thou a guard unto them. See, he's telling you, get ready, because it's going to be on now. You thought it was on in the first resurrection? It's going to be on now. He ain't leaving them none. He ain't leaving a third of you, a sixth of you. I'm against you. There's a problem. I'm against you. Okay. And notice he had Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya. So what are those? Those are the unrepentant ones from other nations that joining forces with Gog and Magog. And you can see that even now. There are those that shouldn't be with Gog and Magog. What are we doing? Worshiping man-made religion. And what are we doing keeping Sunday as a holy day? What are we doing that? We didn't get that from the Most High, Yah. We got that from the Europeans. What we doing still eating pork? We certainly didn't get that from the Most High, Yah. We got that from the Europeans. See? So you're in the wrong spot. You're doing the wrong thing. You're not doing what you made to do. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya. What you doing? You got that from the Europeans. You're not supposed to be with them. But see, there are those that are. They think they're getting ahead. Very shallow. It's very shallow. Very shallow. Oh, you think because the orange boy is president that they're going to just run roughshod over the earth with no check? Very shallow. Very shallow. Very short-sighted. Very short-sighted. Isn't that right? Very short-sighted. Very shallow and short-sighted. And you can't just choose sides. You can't bandwagon with the Most High. See? You can bandwagon in sports. You can wait and see who the champ is and declare yourself a fan of the champ. But you cannot bandwagon with the Most High. You got to be with him because his word says you should beforehand. See? Praise the Most High. You can't bandwagon with him. They bandwagoning with these Europeans. I wouldn't do that. That's short-sighted. Okay, let's go down to verse 8. Notice what it says in verse 8. This is Ezekiel 38, verse 8. After many days, thou shalt be visited. See, that many days, that's the 1,000 years. See what I'm saying? So you got the first resurrection, and then they're all dead. And after many days, remember now, he said he put Satan into the bottomless pit. Years of finish. So then, after many days, thou shalt be visited. Yeah, that's the thing. Stephen Kelly, you said a very interesting point. He said they don't seem to know that their time is running out. This is what it is. The Bible calls it a fearful looking for of judgment. Like, in other words, you feel something wrong, something's real wrong, something bad's about to happen, but you don't recognize what it is. Yeah, the time is running out. It's like one time I fell through a roof, man. Fell right on my side, messed myself up good. How it happened, I was standing on the roof of an old factory building. I was trying to help the people that owned the factory building to get snow off the roof because it had snowed more than 20 some inches several times. And if the snow was going to stay on the roof, it would cause some roofs to collapse. That's what happens in places like New England because they have some flat roofs and the snow piles up on it and the snow gets heavy and it gets so heavy it'll cause the roof to collapse. So you got to clear off the snow from the roofs. So I was helping do that. So I was on the roof of this building and it was shoveling snow off the roof. And it was so deep. And then I started throwing snowballs at the people that was on my kids and some other kids was on the ground level. And I was throwing snowballs at them and they couldn't get me back. So I'm throwing snowballs at them and I'm running on the roof throwing snowballs at them. And all of a sudden I stand still for a minute. And I started to hear a crack. Didn't realize I was standing on a skylight that was covered in snow. Next thing I knew, I was through the roof, headed to the ground. That did not end well. But I was standing on there not knowing that I was on something that was about to collapse. And that's what all of these fools out here are doing. They're standing on something that's about to collapse. And by the time they hear the cracking of the floor beneath them, it's too late. It's too late. I heard this thing. It was almost like a cartoon. I'm looking around, I'm like, what is that? All of a sudden, through the roof I go. But that's it. See, they standing on a skylight that's covered, and they don't realize by the time they hear the cracking of the glass or the plastic, whatever, it's too late. You're falling down. Okay. Praise the Most High. So after many days, verse 8, thou shalt be visited. Now watch this, watch this. This is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 8. After many days, thou shalt be visited. In the latter years, thou shalt come into the land, watch this, that is brought back from the sword. What land is brought back from the sword? It said, after many days, thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword. What land is brought back from the sword, brethren? Okay, what land is brought back? It said, thou shalt come into the land that's brought back from the sword and is gathered out of many people. Then it tells you, it says, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. So you see, after 1,000 years, we have rebuilt the whole country, not just the country, but the whole earth is rebuilt, right? And we're brought back from the sword, we're gathered, we're home. And we have all of our stuff. We have our villages, we have our towns, we have our cities. And as Brother Superstar said, we have New Jerusalem. So we all is there. That's why it says, after many, in the latter days, thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and shall dwell safely, all of them. See, so they're resurrected and they see. In other words, they discover rich lands with people dwelling in safety and prospering and happy. They discover fountains of fresh water. They discover beauty. They discover it. And you know what happens next. Usually when they discover something, it's going to tell us, verse 9, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. So they're going to cover the whole earth as they discover what has happened over the previous 1,000 years when they weren't on it. You're going to see, they're going to discover what they see. They're going to say, oh, we just discovered this. And they're going to try to take it because they say it's unarmed, it's unguarded, and we're going to take it. That's how they normally did, isn't it? It's kind of normal for them, right? They did the same thing in what's now North America, Australia, South Africa, all of the Caribbean islands. They've done the same thing many times. So they're going to look, they're going to come up and they're not changing. They're not changing. They're going to come up and they're going to be thinking the same way. See, among them, you're going to see Hitler, Mussolini, Napoleon, Christopher Columbus. You're going to see all of them come up. And they're going to say, oh, these heathen, we're going to discover their land. Here they come. And there's going to be a lot of them. Not only that, there's more of them than there are of us because we are the remnant, right? The ones that are saved are the remnant. So the ones that are not the remnant is going to be way more than us. So they're going to look around. They're going to see they got the majority. They're going to see our villages are unwalled, and they're going to try to discover them. Okay, you got the scene? Here we go. Verse 10. Thus saith the Most High Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at that time shall things come into thy mind, right? And thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. Like I said, they did not before. They came here, did the same thing to the Indians, did the same thing to the people in South Africa, did the same thing to the Aboriginal people in Australia. They've been doing it all over the earth for centuries. So they're going to raise up with the same mindset. They ain't going to change. It's the same mindset. Oh, wow. These are beautiful places you got there. We just discovered this. All right. They're going to see it. And what's their purpose? What's their purpose? Well, we already kind of know. Daniel told us to divide the land for gain. They ain't changed. They wake up with the same greedy mind they had when they was put down. And here they come again. Verse 12. To take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods and dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish with all the young lions thereof shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Like, we got your game. We know what your game is. Art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey? To carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take great spoil? Yep, that's what they're there for. Especially the New Jerusalem. Now that's the crown jewel, right? Especially New Jerusalem, because within the New Jerusalem is what? The tree of life. They say, oh, we got to get a bite of that tree. Sorry, yo. We like what y'all set up. We like the setup. We like what y'all done did good with the land. We need it, yo. We need it. We need to buy that trio. You're gonna have to give it up. We like what y'all did here. We like how y'all set this thing up. It's for us now. We done discovered. That's how they always been operating, isn't it? Verse 14. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it? And verse 15, and thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army, and thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me when I shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, before their eyes. They get ready to find out. They're getting ready to receive what we say today, the FAFO. Isn't that right? They're getting ready to receive the FAFO. They're getting ready to find out. He said, oh, you're going to find out. This ain't like it was before. Oh, you think it is, but you get ready to find out. Okay? Come up against my people? We're going to see who the real God is now. We're going to see who the real Most High is now. Verse 17. Thus saith the Most High Yahweh, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants, the prophets of Israel? Know what he said there? My servants are who? The prophets of Israel. It shall come to pass at the same time when Gog shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Most High Yahweh, that my fury shall come up in my face. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Make a mistake. Uh-oh. For in verse 19, for in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, so that the fishes of the sea, the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the field, and all the creeping things that creep upon the earth and upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence. He ain't playing. He ain't playing. And the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground, and I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Most High Yahweh. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. They're going to fight and kill each other. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, an overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yah exists. That's the second resurrection, brethren. That's the third witness of the second resurrection. So we got Messiah himself. We got Daniel, Gabriel telling Daniel. Now we got Ezekiel. Now let's go to the actual page. This is Revelation chapter 20, and get the actual one for the fourth witness in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. And like I said, there are more. And I need to find some, like I'm kind of thinking, honestly, when I look at Malachi chapter 4, and it says, it shall lead them but ash and neither root nor branch. That to me it signals the beginning of what is the first resurrection in that little 4 verses, and the ending of what is the second resurrection in Malachi chapter 4. It's just like these little 4 verses, 6 verses, and the whole thing. So I'm going to send Elijah and Moses. I'm going to send Elijah the prophet. Remember the law of Moses? That's the first resurrection. And then at the end, I'm going to leave them not root or branch. That's the second. Right? I'm going to destroy them all. So I'm kind of thinking that's also regarding both resurrections, in Malachi 4. But I'm not real sure yet. I'm not real confident. That's what I'm saying. So, but I am confident in the 3 I just showed you. Very confident. And you can see why as you see it, right? I mean, it brings out their whole character of trying to discover what they didn't make. What Brother Stephen Kelly said, they just tried to take credit for what they didn't build, right? They trying their best, but it ain't going to work this time. It's been working for several thousand years, and they're going to wake up from that 1,000 years thinking it's going to work again. The Most High got another thought for you, and you ain't going to like it. Chapter 20 of the book of Revelation. Let's start at the end of the 19th chapter, which is verse 1, which we read yesterday. But let's read from verse 1 down to verse 4. Start us off there. This is Revelation chapter 20 from verse 1 to 4. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and then bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. After that, he must be loosed a little. See, that's going to be revisited, going to be visited, right? Verse 4, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of Yahweh, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Messiah 1,000 years. So we can get an idea of who the kings are. Remember, he said we're going to be kings and priests. The 144,000 are the priests, but you're going to have people that have actually given their souls, their lives for the Most High's cause. They're going to be kings, praise the Most High. And they deservedly so, praise the Most High. So they're going to be kings. They're going to reign. That's a king. They're going to reign with Messiah 1,000 years all over the earth, praise the Most High. Now, verse 5, Revelation chapter 20, verse 5. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This, it tells you, this is the first resurrection. Again, Messiah talked about it. Daniel talked about it. Now you have the first resurrection. Verse 6, blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death have no power, but they shall be priests of Yahweh and of Messiah, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So you got the priests, you got the kings, you got the kingdom, and as we just read, it's going to be forever. Okay, so now you got 1,000-year reign. Okay, led by the children of Israel with Messiah, with David. It's going to be on. It's going to be all that. See, you're going to be reigning for 1,000 years. Praise the Most High. And priests for 1,000 years. Okay, that's the first resurrection. Blessed and holy if you have part in the first resurrection. So the people that are raised, as the Bible said, remember we read it in both John and Daniel, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. The everlasting life part, that's the first resurrection. The shame and everlasting contempt, that's the second resurrection. Okay, at the end of 1,000 years, verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. See, he's going to be resurrected, loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. Gog and Magog. There it is, just like Ezekiel 38. Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And remember what we just read? It's the same in verse 9. Revelation 20, verse 9. Notice what it said. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city. And fire came down from Yahweh out of heaven and devoured them. See, in one verse, you see the whole chapter 38. See that? So he said they compassed the whole earth, Ezekiel 38 told us, and they came at the mountains of Israel, the beloved city, the New Jerusalem. Obviously, in the first resurrection, the beloved city is set up. In the first resurrection, Revelation 19, New Jerusalem is there. That's why some people think that it comes after the second, only because chapter 21 comes after chapter 20. But no. Notice it said here. It said it encompassed the camp of the saints and the beloved city. So for them to be able to encompass the city, it must be there. Does that make sense, y'all? So the city must be there already for them to encompass it. So they're going to try to take the city. They're going to try to take the unwalled villages. They're going to try to take the people that are living at peace and in harmony. They're going to try their best. But as we know now, what the word tells us, they're not going to be successful. Just like righteousness will beat unrighteousness, the Most High will destroy them. Here we go. And fire, at the end, he said, I'm going to rain hail and fire on them. Chapter 38, we just read it. I'm going to rain hail and fire on them, and they're going to know who the Most High is. Yes, they will. Here we go. And fire came down out of Yahweh out of heaven and devoured them. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Now, let me stop here. I want you to notice that it said the devil was cast into a lake of fire, and it said that the beast and the false prophet were already there because they came in the first resurrection. This is kind of deep. So those that are in the false religious system, the leaders that are now existing, are going to be placed in the lake of fire now, and they'll never come back. That's how serious it is to preach and teach lies in these last days. He said the beast and the false prophet already there. They ain't coming back. They already been judged. They in the lake of fire already. Even they beat the devil there. They were placed in there before the devil was. Isn't that something? They were placed in the lake of fire before the devil was. And you don't hear, you don't hear nothing else about Babylon because it don't exist anymore. It's been destroyed forever. Praise the Most High. Okay? It's about to happen to them. See, this is how serious it is. Why I say, seek repentance, seek truth of the Father's Spirit of righteousness. He will bless you. He will cause you to be ready for the first resurrection. Some of us won't ever die. He's going to cause us to stand before the Father, before the Messiah. Okay? He's going to cause that to happen. But you got to be repentant. You got to be dependent on his spirit, and he will do it. But there are those that are teaching lies, especially religious leaders. When you're talking about beast and false prophet, that's religion. That's worship. So those that are teaching false religion, false worship, and leading the earth in this deception, they're going to be destroyed. In the first resurrection, they're going to be put in the lake of fire, and they won't come back. And we're only dealing with a few years right now. We're not dealing with a whole lot of time, brethren. The Father has blessed us to know the Feast of Tabernacles is approaching. The Feast of Tabernacles is approaching. He showed us the beginning. He showed us the first day of the 7th month in 2017. Y'all can bear witness. He showed us the first day of the 7th month in 2017. 10 days later, 10 years equals a day. A year and a day. 2027, the Day of Atonement. The day where judgment is given in favor of us. And we receive the seal of the Father. 5 days later, which is 5 years, which is 2032, is the Feast of Tabernacles, the final harvest. Okay, he ain't playing. This is on right now. And praise the Most High. Those of us that are seeking to glorify the Creator. Again, let's stress this again. It's worth doing. His word. Please get in his word. Our religion is not the religion of man. Our religion is the Creator himself. We don't need to worship a religion of man. We have the one that made us. The one that said, I created Israel. I set up Israel. When I set up the earth, I set a spot for Israel. He said that. And so we are seeking the one who made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is. The one who made the heavens and his glory is seen in the firmament. That's our God. That's who we worship. That's who we seek. You don't need man. We don't need nobody's building. We need nobody's denomination. Nobody's 501c3. We don't need that. We got the Creator, and we got direct connection because of the Messiah. We got with that. We got the phone number on speed dial. We got speed dial because of the Messiah. We got the Father on speed dial. Boom, catch him anytime we need him. Praise the Most High. Okay, anytime we need him, we get him. Praise the Most High. We soldiers in this war for him, for his glory and his honor. This ain't no joke. This ain't no joke. Praise the Most High. It's almost over. It's only a joke for those that, playing around. Go ahead, play around. Do you, boo? What you say, Brother Stephen Kelly? Do you, boo? Do you think? We good. We good. Okay, praise the Most High. Judgment in favor of the saints of the Most High. And the time came for the saints to possess the kingdom. That's right. I got you. That's right, Aquamba. I got you. What you need? Well, listen. I know you want this thing. But I'm going to let you chill for a minute. Sit up. Chill for a minute. I got you. I'm going to hold you down. Chill for a minute. Praise the Most High. I got you. Father got us, man. Father got us. Above all the families of the earth, he got us. No matter what happens, he got us. He's developing, shaping us, and getting us prepared to stand at that time when nobody else will be able to. Praise the Most High. All right. Yeah, here we go, man. Okay. So now, where the beast and the false prophet are, verse 11. And I saw, here's the judgment. The Messiah said, all judgments given to the Son. You're going to have the book of your life. And you're going to have the book of life. And the book of life are those, remember, Revelation chapter 11. Measure the temple. Remember? Measure the temple and them which worship therein. Measuring with what? The two witnesses. The two witnesses bear witness. Are you perfectly measured to the word of the Father? Are you perfectly measured to the Father's word? Yes, we would be. Why would we be? Why? Because we are righteous in our own sight? No, because the Father has poured on us his perfection of righteousness. That's why, because he has poured on us his perfection of righteousness. Praise the Most High. He has poured on us his perfection. And that's why, as the 24 elders, we will take our crowns and cast them at the feet, because he's caused us to be measured perfectly. Praise the Most High, Yah. Yep. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. Y'all seen that, right? Praise the Most High. So we are written in the book of life because of the grace and mercy the Father give us in covering us with the perfection of his righteousness. And we get that because the perfection of righteousness is also represented in the Messiah, that the Messiah says the word, say, Father, Akawamba and Yah is one of my children. Father say, okay, boom. Here's your coat, brother. Stephen Kelly with my child. Okay, here's your coat, brother. This brother Lonnie and his wife, just that's for our children. Okay, here's your coat, brother. Here's your coat. Perfection. He said, I don't feel perfect. Nope, it's so good. How we feel is irrelevant. The real important person, how does the Father feel? What does he see when he sees us? Does he see himself? Does he see his son? That's the thing. We're going to be standing on that sea glass and we're going to feel good. We're going to feel like we belong there, but we're going to wonder how we got to belong there. Because we know what rascals we've been. And the Father going to say, what you talking about? You remember I did so-and-so and so-and-so? You ain't. I'm looking at your book. I don't see it. I'm looking in here. All I see is perfection of righteousness. That's all I see. That's what the Bible says. They shall be looking for the iniquity of Israel and shall find none. Praise the Most High. See, it's clear when you read the whole Bible in prayer, you start to understand terms and situations that Christians do never get. They don't know what grace is. Grace ain't no license for you to eat pork and keep Sunday. You got that from the Europeans. That's the children of your family. You ain't get that from the Father. No, grace is what causes you to be perfect. Be ye therefore perfect, the Messiah say, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. Perfection is righteousness that you receive. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. Okay. Verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Yahweh, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it. And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged, every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. You see, once death and hell are cast into the lake of fire, they don't exist anymore. And the earth will no longer be the bottomless pit. It will become the place of the tree of life. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. See, we don't have to fear judgment. We look forward to judgment if we're trusting in the Father's perfect righteousness as repentant sinners. We don't have to fear judgment if we're awakened according to his spirit. No, only the unrepentant ones that want to worship man, they have judgment to fear. And it's coming very quickly. And will not hesitate. You see, brethren, I think I would speak, if I may, if I dare, I will speak on our behalf and say, I think we see the time is going by faster, don't we? It appears to us that the days are just flying by, and the years with them flying by. Everything is just floating by real fast. Boom, 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 boom. And why? Because our Father wants to wrap this thing up. He wants to get us to the place where we just chilling in the kingdom. Because he's trying to wrap it up fast. Praise the Most High. It's breakneck speed, all the stuff that's happening. I get, you get these photos that you took 2 or 3 years ago on my phone. Something come and say, you took this 3 years ago. You took this 4 years ago. And I'll be like, damn, where did time go? I was just there. And all of these things happen. You know what I mean? So, brethren, it's really coming fast because the Father wants it that way. He wants to wind up all this stuff, man, get it over with, get his people into the kingdom and get rid of sin and sinners forever. That's what he's trying to do. Okay. And he's going to do it. Obviously, it's his will that we have a sky, that we have a sun, a moon, a stars. It's his will that you and I woke up this morning. It's his will. And that's going to get done because he's trying to get it done quick, and it's going to get done. Praise the Most High. As you can see. Yes. So praise the Most High. See, we got 4 witnesses, 4 solid ones, I think, right? And we see the second resurrection. We see the judgment. We compared that to Ezekiel 38. You can see the similarities. When you get a chance, read them both again. Read them. You see, you'll be reading the same thing. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. Keep doing that, man. Keep reading the word. Keep seeking the Heavenly Father. He will never lead you wrong because he's nothing but right. Father ain't nothing but right. Only thing wrong is when we start going our own way. Shalom, Imana. When we start going our own way is when we get wrong. You can never go wrong walking the path the Father outlines for you. Praise the Most High. May the Most High cause you to walk in that path. May he bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you. And may he be gracious unto you. May the Father lift up his countenance upon you and give you eternal peace. Shalom. We'll be back about 1 o'clock, I guess. We'll be back about 1. Praise the Most High.